Thank you, everybody. My name is Clotilda Koskun. I'll be your host tonight. Thank you to all of you for coming to our traditional law enforcement appreciation Iftar dinner. For many years, Pacifica has been organizing these law enforcement appreciation dinners, and we are very honored to be able to have all these guests here today. And thank you so much for accepting our invitation and for being here today. Law enforcement officers of every rank and file have chosen a profession that puts their life on the line every day for their communities. They have answered the call to public service that is demanding and often unappreciated.
So the reason for the evening, you know, y'all, it's you who are doing that work. It's these beautiful people who show up every day, who get up and show up at a job that is taxing, since it's tax season, taxing in many ways. It's being willing to be brave enough to show who you are and to do the work that you've been called to do over and over and over again in a climate that is often not sunny and bright outside, but is treacherous and challenging. And so I'm here to honor you. I'm here to say thank you. Thank you for doing what you do and for leading the individuals who look to you and say, what now? What now? And having an answer for us. Being able to say, here's a plan. Here's what we can do. Here's how we can work together. Here's what we could do for you in this community so that you feel safe. And really, isn't that what we all want? We all want to feel safe. We all want our children to grow up and be happy and to walk down the street to grandma's house and be okay. And it's because we have the cooperation and the friendship and the shared values amongst us that we can do this. So I am very grateful for all of the ways that we're learning how to do this thing together. So I'm part of the Greater Huntington Beach Interfaith Council because that's where my spiritual center is. I live in Laguna Hills. I have a beautiful community there. And in Huntington Beach, I was stunned to find out that it was not known as Surf City, California, Surf City, USA, because it was just so fun and everybody got along. I was stunned to find out that in 1996 there were hate crimes. And they were vicious, and they were horrendous. And out of that, the leadership in the city came to the leadership of the faith communities and said, what can we do together? And so out of this, the Interfaith Council came into expression. And what happened was, the first year, these people, these individuals who came together, they said, we're not going to do anything, we're not going to make plans, we're not going to go out and change the world, we're just going to get to know each other and fall in love with each other. And so for the first year, that's what happened. It was way before my time. I'm much younger than that, right? It was before my time, but I love that idea that that's what we started with the idea that there was no one answer, no one individual had the answer, but that together we would come together and we would get to know each other, and we would share, and we would think about those common goals that we have, and how do we go about ensuring them. And so one of the greatest things that we can do in the faith communities is to speak well of our law enforcement officers, the individuals that work for the different agencies. So I understand we have police chiefs here, we have officers, we have people from different organizations. Yes, the FBI, I met someone here, and probably other agencies that I'm not even aware of. So, I'm sorry?
Sheriff.
Yes, the Sheriff's Department, yes. So we have all of these different groups, all of these different people who have their, as our friend was saying, who have their expertise, who have their understanding. And as we come together and we get to share bread together and we get to sit at the table together and we get to know each other a little bit more, then when it's our turn to have that situation that's going on for us, we can say, oh, you know, I met Sheriff Barnes. I met him. Well, I did, sort of. And and I bet I could call on him. I bet if I needed him, I could call upon him. I met so-and-so at this dinner, and I know that they could call upon me. That if there's something going on in the city of Huntington Beach, and I could be of service, that I could be helpful to ensure peace and to ensure that the community is getting along, that anyone here would know that they could call upon me, and that I would be willing to do what I could do. And so it's evenings like this where we spend a little bit of time together, and we let down our all of that stuff that says who we are, and we just be with each other, and we just allow ourselves to be known, and we allow ourselves to know each other, that we really get to build that bridge. You know, sometimes we think it's a slippery slope out there. I do. Balancing, state and church, it's supposed to be like this. But really, our goal always is to bring it closer together, to not have such a big divide, but to know that we're all humans and we're all living together. And how can we work together in greater and greater ways so that we share that common good. And I don't think it's one or the other, I think it's a both and. And sometimes when I feel like I'm on that slippery slope, am I going too long? I'll wrap it up. Sometimes when I feel like I'm on that slippery slope, I realize that maybe that foothold that I need is the law enforcement or the sheriff. Maybe that foothold or that handhold that I need is that person over there. And so what I say to you all is, and I'm speaking for everyone, we're here for you. We're here for you. You do so much for us. How can we be here for you? And I hope that you'll take us up on it. So thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to share a few thoughts with you. And thank you to Pacifica for taking care of us and making sure we look really great, like we know what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite OC Sheriff Mr. Don Barnes. You were just called on upon a little before, so right on time.
Thank you so much. First, I'd like to thank Pacifica Institute for putting this together on our interfaith councils. There's several here. And for those who may not know, Sheriff Hutchins, when I was under Sheriff Forher, we started an interfaith council, the Sheriff's Interfaith Council. Many of the faces I see here are faces are familiar with that we routinely meet and discuss issues. And what I love about our interfaith council is that it's representative of the community. That means all the faith traditions that are represented in Orange County. And what I love most about our discussions when we get together, and for those who have heard me say this before, I apologize, but I really do mean this, when you have these discussions and we dialogue and we find out not how different we are, but focus on our similarities, we're 99.8% alike. We all want the same things. We want to be respected. We want to be safe in our communities. We want to have opportunities for our children. We all want the same things, and if you strip those focus on our similarities and our differences, we are very, very much alike. What I'm especially proud of in our work with the Pacifica Institute, with my brothers and sisters who are Muslims, that we are able to do things in Orange County much differently than other people have experienced challenges throughout the rest of the United States. If you think about Orange County, 3.2 million people, but it's very diverse. It's very diverse culturally, it's very diverse ethnically, it's very diverse religiously. And we have everybody equally represented, in my opinion, in Orange County. And when you have tragic things happen around the world that are just horrific acts, and I can think of several recently that have happened. When those happen, traditionally what you'll see is whoever is the target of that aggression, that community stands up, and oftentimes stands up alone, speaking about the travesties that occur. And in Orange County, we don't do it that way. When something happens to a member of our community, whether it be against Islam or against the Jewish community or against the black community, or we may be the target of hate, in Orange County, we stand up shoulder to shoulder and united say that's not okay. It's not okay. There's no room for hate in our community. And that happens by very intentional, very deliberate acts, oftentimes acts of kindness, but also acts of being receptive to learning about other people, so you're no longer focused on somebody's differences than you are on how much we are alike. And I really, really appreciate the opportunity to share that with you. I am so amazed at the friendships that I've developed over the years with members of our community. And what I love about learning about different faith traditions is that when I'm out and about, oftentimes not in a uniform, but I can converse with people in ways that are valuable to them, to let them know that they are welcome here. For example, I would never know when I see a young woman in a hijab to just simply give her a gesture which is valuable to them, to let them know that they are valued in our community. And I love that about these opportunities. And for my partners here in law enforcement and fire, we snuck a fire guy in just to make it equal. But I will tell you, from our perspective, I know that there's a lot of concern about the way law enforcement, public safety is being viewed nationally. And I hate to break the news to you, but we don't experience that here in Orange County. We know that we're valued. We know that we have opportunities to mix with you and feel that there's duplicity in how we want and what we want from the community. I think Sir Robert Peel summarized it best, who is really the father of modern law enforcement, when he said the police are the community and the community are the police. We are one. We have to be co-producers of our safety, and we had to do that. You have to have relationships, trusting relationships with the communities we serve, so that you can get together and talk through issues in a way. The worst thing that I will tell you this, and I'll end here with my partners in uniform, the worst day for any of us is to have somebody come to us and say they've been wronged, they've been victimized, they had something happen to them, but they didn't feel safe or trusting to bring it to our attention. And I will tell you that that's not the way we view our relationships here in this county. We want to hear from you. We want to build the relationships, build bridges, tear down walls, and make sure that we are all looking at how great this county is the same way. So on behalf of my partners here in uniform, and I have several of them personally, we thank you for the opportunity to be here. This is a tremendous event. I always feel welcome to come to the Iftar dinners, and just thank you for the opportunity to be here with you in this special event. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sheriff. And now I would like to invite Mr. Attila Kahveci, the Executive Director of Pacifica Institute.
Shorter than the Sheriff and the Ms. Johnson, so that's why we have this. Quite tall, yeah. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What an honor to be here. Welcome to our Ramadan Law Enforcement Appreciation Dinner in Orange County. It's an honor for me to be a part of this community who has a tradition to embrace all people regardless of their faith, culture, nationality, orientation, and stand against all kinds of discrimination, injustice, crime, and misconduct, especially here in Orange County and the greater Los Angeles area. It's been a long time since we came together like this. Has it been 2 years? More than 2 years, right? Almost. But the pandemic is over, thankfully. After a 2-year gap, finally we assembled in this beautiful space. I'd like to start briefly by introducing the Pacifica Institute to our newcomers and speak about the importance of this dinner. The Pacifica Institute was founded as a nonprofit organization in 2003 to strive for social justice, cohesion, interfaith cooperation, advocacy through positive change and connections, and building relationship, partnership for the common good, and respecting both religious and non-religious identities through its wide range of activities. We are here today to thank you, to men and women in uniform and without, to get up every morning, as my friends mentioned, go to work to do the job of keeping us safe, and keeping us safe by enforcing the laws, because when the law is enforced, trade and society flourishes. Otherwise, it goes to non-existence. We see Ramadan dinners as a unique opportunity to build new friendships as well as strengthen our existing relationships by breaking bread together, sharing some quality time and learning from each other. And we share our iftar tables with our loved ones. We believe that there's not a better time other than Ramadan iftar dinners to show our appreciation to you all. Even though it's once a year, it's a good time to be together. Since Ramadan, the month of fasting, is a time of remembrance of the bounties of God, who has been providing us all with his servants' extended hands to us in the form of oxygen and rain, And we found out rain didn't rain quite so often in the last few years, right? So that's why our community with the churches and synagogues went out for the prayer for rain. It's became a kind of a tradition since last year, hopefully. In the form of oxygen and rain through the hands of air, vegetables and fruits, through the extended branches of plants and trees. We Muslims, by fasting, try to comprehend as best as we can that we won't be able to acquire rain, oxygen, water, and food without God's mercy. The month of fasting is also a time to be with the community, our friends, neighbors, and colleagues, and the people of Abrahamic faith, which this month of April 2022 has Ramadan, Passover, and Easter at the same time. In this month, Pacifica Institute in California organizes, it's a kind of including the Northern California and Southern California, more than 20 interfaith teens, women, community, and law enforcement appreciation dinners. We're going to have another one in San Diego on the 27th, next week, that is. So like this, in our places, churches and synagogues and houses of worship. One of the reasons is because Islam urges us to be with the community because the blessings we receive doubles, triples, and quadruples when we share our meal together with our friends and neighbors and people like you. We realize better how important and significant it is to be with the community, especially during this pandemic when even we couldn't visit our sick at the hospitals or be in the company of our dear friends for the last 2 years. So again, thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts that you came here and be with us and sharing your valuable time with us, and welcome again. Thank you.
Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت سيدنا محمدًا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة. إلهي وابعث مقامًا محمودًا الذي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. اللهم إني لك صمت وبك آمنت وعليك توكلت وعلى رزقك أفطرت. O Allah, I fasted for you, and I believe in you, and I break my fast with your sustenance. Ameen. Alhamdulillah.
the sheriff nominated me to be the spokesperson for our table, so I feel honored and privileged in that sense. But on behalf of our fire chief, Orange County Fire Authority, Brian Fennessy, thank you for having us. I think for us, it was summed up in many ways in what the sheriff said, and just knowing that all of us have so many similarities and we all want the same thing, which is community amongst all of us, and if we have community, we have peace in our communities. And as being a firefighter, very proud to serve the community very much as my law enforcement partners. We're glad to be in the community and be a part of the community. So thank you for having us.
Thank you. And we also pray for, because the the dry season is coming up, I suppose, in August or when? We pray for your well-being and health, and the agencies as well. Thank you
very much.
Once again, with COVID lifted and us getting back to having these opportunities to connect with the community, we appreciate you reaching out and including us. And again, thank you for the wonderful food.
And one of the things that struck me that we haven't had an opportunity to do for a long time because of COVID is build new relationships. And sitting here with his family and our partners, on behalf of both the Anaheim Police Department and the Fullerton Police Department, I couldn't be more impressed with how welcoming and supportive you've been to the law enforcement community. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to also be supportive of your community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this is an example of interfaith cooperation with the city. Reverend Patty Mercado talked about in Huntington Beach we had a problem with hate crimes. And the city formed at the same time their committee, Human Relations Task Force, on which I served for 8 years, and also the Interfaith Council in Huntington Beach at the same time. Both need to work together. And that's been, since 1998, that's been our philosophy. We're natural teams, the government and police department and the faith groups.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much for having us and inviting us, and I'll keep it simple. It's been great meeting all of the good and great people here today that I met here at this table, and everybody here, and look forward to coming back if you have us next year.
I just want to say, echo all the other tables, it's so wonderful. This is the first event post-COVID we've got to go out into the community and break bread with our brothers and sisters out here. What a wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much for inviting us. We hope to be invited back next year.
Yep.
I want to caution everybody as they leave today, we learned at our table that Muhammad has a lead foot, so be careful in the parking lot.
I just want to thank everyone for having us here. We had a great time. We got to meet a lot of new people who shared their culture, and this was just amazing. The food was good. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is very interesting, and we learned a lot. This is our first time coming here and learning about the fasting. We also discovered between my sergeant and I that we would have almost a very hard time doing that. So we commend you guys for it.
Well, thank you.
Okay, my name is Khuluddin Najjar, and this is my husband Yusuf here. Okay, we work with the New Muslim Group in Irvine, and we are announced as the mother and the father of the New Muslims. Mm-hmm. I feel so good today when I hear everybody talking about living together in peace and how respectful everybody to each other. Thank you so much. The food is so great, and I'm so happy to know that Turkish and Palestinian, as my native country, we share grape leaves.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Yusuf As'ad, and this is my wife Khulud. First of all, thank you very much for the invitation, and this is the second invitation. I joined you guys 3 years ago. It was in different place. Yeah. Again, we are happy to be here. We are very glad, and it's really very pleasant to see this gathering people, and thank you very much.
First and foremost, thank you to all the interfaith groups for the inclusiveness of including the law enforcement community. So I want to thank you very much to all the individuals that shared and broke bread today with us today. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciate the ability to dialogue here today, so thank you very much.
And I just want to thank the Pacifica Institute so much for hosting this wonderful event. I think besides the new friends that we've made and the delicious food, one of the best things about this is the opportunity to ask questions in a safe, judgment-free place. There's no stupid questions here either about religion or police work or society, so that's been very welcoming and very appreciative. We've learned a lot, and if nothing else, we've learned that the best way to eat baklava is upside down. Yeah. So I feel like I'm going to take that back and share that with all my friends and family as well.
Thank you.
Blessed. That's what comes to my mind about this event. When people ask me what it is being an officer, what it's like working in the community of Huntington Beach, I always speak about how blessed I am.
but being here just reaffirms that I'm blessed to be part of a larger community. And thank you for having us here and hosting us, and continue to add to my blessings.
Thank you. But as a proud Orange County resident, this is exactly why we've been here for about 18 years raising our kids, because of the environment, because of from top to bottom down, everybody caring about your neighbors. And this is just a wonderful night. So this is my second time here, and I look forward to coming back next year. Thank you.
So what tonight reminds me of is a typical night in Orange County. It's full of diversity. It's been 2 years since we've been able to get out. I've been talking to my friends around the table, diverse conversations, different conversations, great food. That's what it reminds me of Orange County or Southern California area. As the sheriff said, we have representation of everyone. I don't see differences. I enjoy diversity. Right? I learn different things, and I'll learn different things tonight. So it reminds me of a typical night in Orange County, and I'm appreciative of that.
Thank you.
Well, I've been to many of these, helped plan them with the Pacifica Institute. It's growing every year. We'd love to see all the law enforcement here, because that's what the interfaith community wants to do, is support the law enforcement group, work closely with us. And in our area, the chiefs speak once a year, and we're hoping to get back to that in person.
Well, I really would like to basically say thank you so much to the Pacifica Institute. You have opened your doors to all the law enforcement, to us, especially when we were up in Westwood, when we had our luncheons all the time, our Wednesday or Thursday or whatever they were luncheons. We had several law enforcement people come in. We had people from the community come in. And it was just a great learning experience. And I can't tell you how much I have enjoyed the openness, your hearts, and everything that you have given to us. And working the work I did, you are family to me, and you always will be family. And in any way, even though I have retired, in any way I can help, or anyone in our agency can help, the doors are always open. Attila knows that very well. When he has called and said, I need help for this, well, let me get you in touch with such and such a person, or somebody else in the agency who can help you, whether it's been down here in Orange County, Irvine, wherever it has been. We have our doors open to you. And again, I say thank you so much, because my hearts are always with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much to all of you. It was an honor. I was overwhelmed by all the kind words that each and every one of you said. I felt again very lucky to be part of this community, to be part of Orange County, and to also be having seen and having met all of you today. Thank you so much for being here. Some tables, people said that we hope to see next year. We will keep you to that promise. So don't forget, next year, when the day comes, at the farthest I mean, we hope to see you again next year in the same dinner. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you. Have a great rest of your evening. Thank you.